Imagine there's a slow fuse bomb inside your stomach. It doesn't explode with fire. It doesn't make a sound. It doesn't panic you immediately. It does only one thing. It pulls water toward itself. And once it has enough water, it begins to swell. Chia seeds, Salvia hispanica, look like tiny, harmless specks, but biologically, they are a device shaped by evolution to survive harsh conditions: sun, wind, dry soil, and long stretches without rain. Inside the human body, that device still follows its original programming. It is hydrophilic water-loving. It produces mucilage, a slimy gel. And it can transform a thin liquid mixture into a gel matrix. And here is the deciding detail. Chia seeds can be a nutritional treasure or a ruthless water thief, depending on a single factor: time. Specifically,
you look absolutely beautiful
how much time you let them absorb water before they enter your
You're
body.
making me blush.
In nature, a seed is a compressed future plan. It carries an embryo, an extremely fragile living structure, yet it must endure an environment packed with risk, water scarcity, temperature swings, microorganisms, and competition from other seeds. For many species in the mint family, Lamiaceae, evolution's answer is mucilage. The slimy layer that surrounds the seed coat isn't there to look nice. It is a survival technology. When it encounters water, the mucilage unfurls into a gel like a jacket that can retain moisture. For the embryo,
wow, look at the fire
that is
on
like
that
building
grill.
a mini water tank
I know,
right
let's
on
get
the
some
spot,
skewers over there.
holding humidity long enough to kickstart germination. But mucilage doesn't only retain water. It can also help the seed adhere to soil more effectively, reducing the chance of being blown away. Create a physical barrier that limits direct contact with harmful agents. And even regulate the rate of water exchange, so the embryo doesn't get shocked when the environment turns wet, then dries out too quickly. In other words, a chia seed is both minimal and intelligent. It doesn't carry many extra attachments. It carries one powerful mechanism: water management through polymers. Fiber is often misunderstood as something that simply sweeps trash out of the gut. In reality, fiber is a physical structure capable of tuning the digestive environment, much like changing the viscosity of a liquid in a laboratory. Chia is distinctive because it contains both soluble and insoluble fiber. But the true main character behind the gel effect is the soluble portion mucilage. When chia seeds are hydrated, they form a gel matrix, a polymer network that traps water. In the intestines, this matrix does two important things. First, it slows diffusion. Glucose and other small molecules can no longer move freely toward the intestinal absorption surface. They must travel through a thicker medium. The result is a reduced rate at which sugar enters the bloodstream. So post-meal blood glucose rises less sharply. This is the biochemical logic behind glycemic index effects, not magic. Second, slowing gastric emptying. When food becomes more viscous and retains water, the stomach typically processes it more slowly. You stay full longer and feel fewer urges to snack. This effect is real, but it has limits. Feeling full for longer is not the same as getting enough protein, micronutrients, or a balanced energy intake. And this is the key point to remember. Chia gel is a tool for regulating kinetics, not a tool for burning anything. It changes the speed of digestion. It does not replace physiology. Imagine your gut microbiome as a densely populated city. Each bacterial group has its own preferences. Some favor starches. Some favor fiber. Some favor protein. When you eat chia seeds, you are delivering a kind of special food into that city. Fiber and mucilage materials the human body cannot fully break down on its own. So, who eats it? The bacteria? When bacteria ferment soluble fiber, they produce SCFAs, short-chain fatty acids such as acetate, propionate, and butyrate molecules that support intestinal cells and help regulate metabolism. This is the banquet side of the story when the microbiome is fed the right substrate. The gut may function more steadily, but there is a condition: the rate of adaptation. If you increase chia too quickly from eating almost no fiber to eating a lot, the microbial city can surge into overactivity. More fermentation, more gas, CO, do, H2, and sometimes CH4, depending on the ecosystem. You feel bloated, distended, and uncomfortable. From an enzymology perspective, this is not a chia allergy in the everyday sense. It is a mismatch in timing between the amount of substrate fiber you introduce and your microbiome's current capacity to process and coordinate it. Your body needs time to adjust bacterial density and the corresponding enzyme activity. That is why the scientific answer is often simple: increase the dose gradually, drink enough water, and allow the microbiome to retrain. The optimal soaking technique for a stable gel can be summarized in one easy rule: 1 part chia to 12 parts water or milk. Sprinkle chia slowly into the liquid and stir immediately to prevent clumping. Then wait about 10 minutes and stir again so the seeds separate evenly and hydrate uniformly. Total soaking time should reach 20-30 minutes for full gel formation, or refrigerate overnight if you're making pudding. The technical goal is uniform swelling into a smooth, consistent gel with no dry core left in the center. Once you have a proper gel, you can mix it into yogurt, oatmeal porridge, or smoothies, but don't treat it as an empty meal replacement. If you want longer satiety and steadier blood sugar, pair it with protein and a good fat source, because chia is a governor, not the main engine of nutrition. Nature's wisdom is sometimes compressed into the smallest things. Chia seeds are a minimalistic yet sophisticated design, hydrophilic, mucilage forming, building a gel matrix that can slow absorption and interact with the microbiome in a very real way without needing to mythologize it. But precisely because it functions like a biological machine, it asks the user to understand biochemistry rather than rely on consumption instinct alone. You don't need to eat more. You need to soak correctly. Increase the dose slowly, and use it in the right meal context. In short, chia seeds are not invading your body. They are simply running on their evolutionary programming. Whether they become a treasure or a nuisance depends on whether you know how to operate them.